Hello everyone, Juicebags here, and welcome back to a little Minecraft Tekkit. Today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the atomic science mod for two reasons, really. First off, I wanted to go ahead and get into the big boy in power generation, and that is the Fusion Reactor. Last time we did the Fission Reactor, and created quite the badass creation. And now we're going to take that one step further. And we don't really have the need for power. I'm really doing this for two reasons. First off, in pure juiced fashion, I want to make it absolutely ridiculous. But second off, it's kind of fun to play with these things and really test the limitations of what they can really do. Now, I mentioned last time a lot of information on the Tekkit forums from Jakalth on atomic science. And I'm taking his notes, and I'm going to build a bad boy fusion reactor that's going to handle 45 turbines. That's right, 45. Let's go ahead and take a look at my build spot. As you see, I went up a little bit with our current power center. Here's a fusion reactor downstairs. The fission reactor downstairs. We've got it tied in with a huge battery storage and charging station, along with some easy access to some tesseracting. Now, one of the downsides about the fission reactor is, although with this setup it does create an absolutely insane amount of power, it goes through, even with my improved setup on the fissile fuel rods, it'll go through a fissile fuel rod about every hour, which, like I said, is an absolutely insane amount of power. You could really just throw a fissile fuel rod in once or twice a day and have more than enough power to run a ridiculous amount of machinery. To keep one running 24/7, you're going to need one full 64 by 64 quarry dug about every 3 days to have enough uranium to make those fissile fuel rods. Now that, of course, is without recharging the fissile fuel rods in a breeder reactor, which we're going to get into that later on. Haven't done a whole lot of research on it yet. But for this design, we're going to go ahead and go with 2 floors. As you see, I went on and set up all of my liquid duct for the turbines. I'm going to have a 45 large reactor turbines spinning down here. And upstairs is going to be the actual reactor. Now you see, I went on and created my unlimited power or unlimited water source, as going to need a lot of water to fill in all these holes. Now the fusion reactor works a little bit different, where the fission reactor directly heats the water up, converts it into steam. We then capture that and get those reactor turbines spinning. The fusion reactor is actually going to create plasma. It does require power. The plasma, in turn, is what is going to heat the water up. So let's go ahead and get things started. To start off, we're going to need quite a few different materials. The fusion reactor itself is made with 4 elite circuits in the corners, 4 steel plates, and then a fission reactor right down in the center. The elite circuits, of course, for anyone who doesn't remember, is the 6 gold ingots top and bottom, 2 advanced circuits, and 1 full lapis block. And that's going to make the fusion reactor. Now we're also going to need a ton of electromagnets and electromagnetic glass. Now the electromagnets are made fairly easily as well. You can do that with either bronze ingots or iron ingots around the outside, with a piston in the middle will make your electromagnets. The electromagnetic glass is simply one electromagnet, and 1 glass will get you your electromagnetic glass. So to get things started off, we want to go ahead and pop our turbine down directly in the center of this platform, and we're going to be building out from there. As you see, there's no deuterium. Deuterium is the source that we are going to use to power this bad boy. Now we are going to feed deuterium in through an ME network, which I'm going to add in later. But for now, let's just get the reactor itself going. So to start things off, after we pop that reactor down, we're going to go ahead and protect it on each side with an electromagnet. Going to go ahead and do this like so. Now we're going to go ahead and dig out 6 blocks underneath. We're going to go like so, and we're going to fill those gaps with electromagnetic glass. On the end of that, back up at reactor level, I'm going to go ahead and throw another electromagnet down. Now let's go ahead and do that on each side. Little electromagnetic glass. Luckily those guys don't shatter on you like most glass tends to do. Basically what we're doing here is we're creating the pool for our plasma to sit in. Now anything at all that the plasma touches is going to be instantly turned to mush, as it's going to be pretty much vaporized. Anything the plasma touches will be destroyed, so we have to contain that plasma. Now there's 2 different types of fusion reactors. There's a ring type reactor and there's a flood type reactor. The flood type reactors are a little bit more efficient. It's going to allow us to get a few more turbines spinning. So we're going to go ahead and take that route instead. Oops, need one more down here on the end. Let's see, and then get our reactor in there. And then let's do the same thing over here. As you see, this particular design takes up a ton more space. However, there's no shortage of space. Just keep on building. Alright, now basically what we have done is we have set the basic outline of what the size of our fusion reactor is going to be. Now you see quite a few people out there doing fusion reactors with very small setups. You want to, of course, maximize the amount of plasma that you can create. It's going to heat that plasma. I think it's 7 blocks away from the fusion reactor itself. So by all means, fill the area out. Don't just settle. So alright, now we're going to go ahead and connect these sides up. We're going to do this with the electromagnets itself. The reason it's important to use the electromagnets here and not the electromagnetic glass is the electromagnetic glass is not actually going to create any of the plasma or heat any of the water. So make sure we're having electromagnets at all these contact points. The electromagnetic glass will contain the plasma, but that's all it's going to do for you. So we're going to go ahead and fill in the gaps like so. And now we've got a real nice idea of what this thing's going to look like. Now I'm going to go ahead and pound out the rest of those bricks that you see that are inside of the electromagnets and throw down more electromagnetic glass. So I'm going to jump forward through that process. That way this video is not 2 hours long. Alright, so we got that all done. As you see, the entire floor now, you can see down below, is cut out with electromagnetic glass. Little overhead view of it. Very nice looking start for our flood fusion reactor. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to cover the entire top of this opening. We want to create basically a 1-block chamber inside of all of these electromagnets. So we are going to go ahead and do that like so. We're going to go ahead and fill basically the entire thing up, and that's going to leave us that 1-block chamber. We are going to, let me move on into the center, and I'll show you what we're going to do there. In the center, we want to leave some openings. What we're going to do is, let's see, I think something like this is what Jakalth suggests. Now, by all means, head on over to the Technic forums and check out some of Jakalth's posts. He's very knowledgeable on atomic science, and without him, this is another creation that wouldn't exist. So I'm going to go ahead and hop forward once again as I fill in the tops all the way around of these guys. Alright, now as you see, we got this bad boy all filled in. We left our opening. We can get to we can get to our reactor with no issues. In fact, there is going to be some ME cable coming out of the top of there long term, and then power coming up through the bottom of there short term. But once we get it covered in, we've got the one block gap inside that can completely flood and fill with plasma to heat all these electromagnets, which is in turn going to heat our water. So now we want to maximize every single surface of these electromagnets. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and create a one block water area all the way around, right to the outside of our electromagnets. I'll show you what the overhead view of this bad boy looks like here in just one moment. I'm using the glowstone brick just because it looks nice and it's going to help illuminate the area and keep the mobs from spawning here. Of course, it doesn't matter what you use here at this point. Alright, so this is what we look like now. You see we have one block all the way around of free space where we're going to put some water. Now as you see, I've got my unlimited water supply there, so that is already squared away. The next thing we're going to do is start filling in those holes. So let's grab my bucket here and get all these bad boys filled in. Now we'll go ahead and jump through at this part, as everybody knows how to make an unlimited water supply and how to scoop up water with a bucket. So there's no need for me to show you step by step how to fill in these holes. But basically we're going to go through and fill the entire outside with water. And that is going to be the start of our steam production. Now, as I mentioned, we want to really maximize every single surface of these electromagnets to make sure we're providing plenty of steam to keep all 45 of those reactor turbines spinning. So let's go ahead and jump forward one more time until we get this water filled in. Alright, so we got that stage complete. We got water filled in all the way around. If you notice in the center coming out of the top, I went on and added an ME export bus and then some ME cable coming straight out. The reason I put this in now is it's just going to make things a little bit easier to deal with down the road. But we're going to be feeding our deuterium through an ME cable. We're going to go directly into the top of the reactor. So you want to do it like so. Now, next thing, we want to bust out the handy dandy steam funnels. And we all already know the amazing usage for these guys. Now we want to go around the outside of the reactor wherever we have water and go ahead and get a steam funnel in place. Now you're going to have to build off of those guys, something along those lines. Oops. So we'll go ahead and do that. Every puddle of water is going to have a steam funnel. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and slap them all down And then I can go around and bust out those glowstone blocks around the outside later on. But let's go ahead and get these guys slapped down, covering all of the water pools. Now, once we get those covered all the way around, we are going to fill all of these holes in with water, like so. So we're going to have another layer of water all the way around, making use of every side of the electromagnets. Now, on that same note, now would be a good time to go ahead and fill in these blocks in the middle, and that's why we went on and put that ME cable there. That way, we could make use of the top sides of those electromagnets. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these in all the way around, and show you where I'm at from there. Alright, so we've got those areas all filled in and ready to go. So next thing's up, and guess what? Well, you guessed it. We are going to go ahead and add more steam funnels in on top of all of these areas of water. So we'll start off in the center. Get these guys squared away here. Going to cover every single surface of water with a steam funnel. And the steam funnel is really the optimization that it adds is completely ridiculous. So let's get these steam funnels in place. Whoops. Well, darn it. Alright, so we're looking good there. Now, as you see, this is going to create another cavity on the inside here. Now, this cavity, of course, to make use of every surface of the electromagnets, we are going to fill that entire pool in the middle with some water as well. So let's get these steam funnels all laid down and these glowstone blocks all cleaned up. And then we are going to flood the inside chamber with more water. As you see, the chamber inside is going to be this entire area. So lots more steam funnels being put to use. So let's get that dialed in, and I'll let you see where I'm at from there. Alright, so there we have our lovely little toxic swimming pool. And at this stage, we're ready to completely enclose the reactor. Now to do that, we're going to go ahead and add another row of steam funnels, completely covering the open pool of water at the top. Now, the first thing we want to do, and a little known fact about the steam funnels, is they are stackable. Now you don't get a improved benefit from it, but you can do that. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and completely cover in this top level, and to simplify things even further, we're going to go ahead and put steam funnels We're going to put one row of steam funnels on top of the second layer. And then we're going to go ahead and put 2 stacks of steam funnels on the bottom layer. And that's going to make our plumbing substantially easier, since the steam funnels are very inexpensive to make, especially compared to the liquid duct. We're going to go ahead and make this one flat steaming surface at the top. So let me go ahead and hop on in and get that done. Alright, so we are 100% steam funnel enclosed. As you see, quite the monstrosity here. but just one big giant square. And stacking up the steam funnels ended up giving us one flush surface, which is going to make piping substantially easier. Now you see we still do have the opening in the middle where our ME network is going to be feeding it. So now we need to start connecting all this stuff up with some liquid duct. Now it's important to note you need to make sure you have the proper output set on the liquid duct, and we're going to have these guys set to pump, which means the little arrow there needs to be facing upward and is going to require a redstone signal. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in all of this liquid duct, get all these outputs set in the proper direction, and we're getting closer and closer to firing this bad boy up.